Know a lot about golf.
Well, we're waiting.
It is time for us, those Weekend Golf Guys. I'm John Ashton. He is Jeff Smith at the Golf Cave or Timbergate Golf Course in Edinburgh, Indiana.
I like it. We're on time. You know what that means? No. When we're done, we can go play golf.
Yeah, indeed.
And make our tee time.
Yeah, and do it before the humidity hits 92% and the temperature hits 95. Kidding. That has been tough for the past few weeks. And I know most people in the country have been living under, even in New England, it's been in the high 90s. Midwest, it's been in the high 90s, and in the desert, I don't even want to think about that. It's been
you're always making reference to this New England place. It's like you grew up there or something.
Yeah, well, you should go someday.
I've been there.
You should get out of Indiana.
Yeah, that's a good place to get out of, right? But you ought to branch out a little bit too,
Hey, I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere.
Yeah.
And I do not live in New England because 6 months out of the year, it's just ain't no place to be.
I know.
So,
you know what? I find that out in Indiana too.
Yeah.
I want to be down south. I got to have the sun. I want my hair to be blonde all year. I want to be tan all year. I want to see the sun. I want to feel some warmth on my face. I can't do that in Indiana, man.
Give me a Carolina. Give me a Georgia. Give me a Florida. Yeah.
Something.
Definitely.
Right? Even get me down in Texas.
I just spent some time earlier this week with a guy who lived in Phoenix for a while when he worked for Ping.
Yeah.
And he is now a master club fitter. And we're going to be talking to him from Club Champion, the guy who hooked me up with my new driver. My new driver, by the way, which I'm not going to claim that it was the driver. I'm not going to claim that it was 100% Jeff. I'm not going to complain that I had anything to do with it. But on a 311-yard par 4, my second shot was a mere 41 yards from the green.
I caught that text, and honestly, I thought you said 141 yards. No, that's a heck of a poke, right?
I think my math comes out to 270. And as I have said, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I can get the senior discount at McDonald's. My hair's that gray.
It is that gray, that's for sure.
I have never hit 270-yard drive in my life, even when I was young. Girl.
That's good. That's good.
So
think about that, right? So think about the things you've been doing to hit the ball in the center of the face, moving the club faster, and then all of a sudden you got a new driver in your hand that was professionally club fit to you, and you put all that together, not to mention you're playing a better ball.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep. And we're going to talk about all of that when we come right back. We are those Weekend Golf Guys. Do hang with us. Right now in the year 2020, hiring is more important than ever. And Indeed is here to help make sure you get the best people available. Indeed.com is the #1 job site in the world because Indeed gets you the best people fast. And unlike other sites, Indeed gives you full control and payment flexibility over your hiring. You only pay for what you need. You can pause your account at any time, and there are no long-term contracts. Plus, Indeed provides powerful tools to make your search that much easier, like sponsored jobs, which are shown to be 3.5 times more likely to result in a hire. Now, with 73% of online job seekers visiting Indeed each month, Indeed's going to get you that important hire that you need, just like they have for over 3 million businesses. And right now, Indeed's offering our listeners a free $75 credit to boost your job post, which means more quality candidates will see it fast. So try Indeed out with free $75 credit at Indeed.com/weekend. This is their best offer available anywhere. Go right now to Indeed.com/weekend. Terms and conditions apply. Offer valid through September 30th. Have you watched another weekend of PGA Tournament golf realizing, hey, I don't have any skin in the game? Add to the excitement of watching by going to DraftKings, a leader in daily fantasy sports. They'll put you in the center of the action with a free shot at $1 million top prize with your first deposit. Easy to play. What you do, you pick 6 golfers. You stay under the salary cap. You submit your lineup before the tournament tees off on Thursday. Then you sit back and follow the action. The more red numbers they have on the leaderboard, the closer you'll be to winning some green. You can rack up points for pars, for birdies, finishing position, and a whole lot more. All right, you may not be able to get a ticket and actually go to the course, but DraftKings is giving you the opportunity to scratch your competitive itch and reign supreme. Download the DraftKings app right now. Use the code WEEKEND during sign-up. This week, DraftKings is putting you in the action with a free shot at a $1 million top prize. The code WEEKEND, and you can get a free shot at a $1 million top prize only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. And we are this weekend golf, guys. We are here at Club Champion in Louisville, one of their 75 locations. And we're here with Kevin Hurst, who's master fitter at Club Champion, where I have just gotten what's become my favorite driver in the whole wide world. It's a Callaway Maverick with a great shaft, and even tailor made the if you pardon the expression, tailor the proper grip.
Yeah. We made sure that we got the right. Check your hand size, and for anybody that's looking for that, when you grip a golf club in your left hand, what you want to see is when that left hand is on the club, if you'll take it up to the top of your backswing, you want to make sure you have a light touch between your middle finger and your ring finger of your lead hand to the pad of your thumb. Just a light touch there. If it's pressing in too much, the grip's a little bit too small and can have a little bit of active hands where you might not necessarily control the club head as well. If you have separation there, the grip's too big, and now you're going to have kind of the opposite reaction where the club head might be hard to get back to a squared position. Right. So, grip size, and then what is most comfortable to a player, and whether that just be a regular leather grip or rubber grip or a wind grip that has, just a little bit more of a spongy feel to it. We can work you all the way even into a leather grip. We do have some of those available as well.
And then the other question I have is, how important is the ball?
Pretty much, we use a combination of Pro Vs, Callaways. A lot of times I'll have customers that want to use their own golf ball. Just to make sure that, it's another variable that's taken out. Right. The ball is very important to playing, and you should work on what's going to be the proper golf ball for you. That a lot of times is a lot of trial and error as well. You've got to assess what your goals are. Are you distance oriented? Are you looking to get the ball farther down the fairway? If you do, then sometimes you're giving up a little bit of control maybe around the greens. If you are a more of a wedge-oriented player, you're really looking for that comfort and ability to spin the golf ball. Look for those higher spin golf balls that are, more of your Pro V1, Pro V1X, that kind of thing. Those can actually help you out around the greens a lot better. So, again, it's answering those questions. It's the same thing when you come in for a club fit. What I'm looking for is I want to meet your needs.
Sure.
And is it distance? Is it accuracy? That's where shaft and head and grip and length and flex, all of those things combine together to get you the right prescription.
But some of us, we as long as no one's paying attention, you may have one ball off the tee and then another one when you get, just look what I found.
Hey, there's the one ball rule. I don't think is being used anymore. So,
at least not in the groups we play in.
That's the other thing is when you go out and play, have fun.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
If you want to tee up a rock off the tee and then replace it for the fairway,
as long as nobody complains,
do well, have fun.
That's right.
And
exactly.
that's the biggest part of this is, and when we had people come in, just because the USGA says you need 14 clubs, I think we can get you a few more that you might have some more fun with. So we can work our way through that as well.
Exactly. As long as you're not playing in any USGA sanctioned. And USGA and fun are kind of diametrically opposed.
Sometimes, yeah, they're not the most jovial group, but it's all good.
Yeah, we once tried to. In fact, we were covering we're broadcasting live from a USGA team amateur championship up at French Lick about 4 years ago, and had a whole bunch of USGA guys there. And, we don't take ourselves, this is one thing we tell, we don't take ourselves or anyone else seriously on the radio, right? So we had the guy on and we said, there's a rule that we'd like to have you change. And the guy said, well, really, what is it? And I said, well, that stroke for a lost ball? We figure $4 is enough of a penalty. We really shouldn't have to take a stroke too.
That's true.
He didn't think that was funny.
Well, I'm sure it was meant in the best spirit. So
it's like, get a sense of humor, buddy.
Yeah, well, that's okay. And that's the great thing about our customers. And like I've said, I mean, we have everybody from mini tour players all the way up to 30 handicappers in here. And we've seen success at every level.
Yeah.
So, It's not just for the guys that are striping it every time.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we can actually make it a lot more fun,
Yeah.
where you're just going to go have some success and play more. And if you combine that most of the time with just a little bit of instruction from local PGA pros, it will go a long way.
Yeah. Well, when I told Jeff Smith, my co-host, that I hit that 270-yard drive, he said, "I'll take credit for that."
There you go.
And I said, "Yeah, fine. Probably you should." But I'm sure it's a combination of knowing how to do it correctly, finally,
Yeah.
and having the tools that translate that correct swing to getting it down the fairway where it belongs.
We call it, a lot of times it's a chicken or the egg kind of thing, and a lot of times you can't get to the right swing if the clubs in your bag are impeding you from doing that. I had a gentleman in here the other day who had bought a set of golf clubs right off the rack. He's 5'8" tall, but his clubs were built at a 1/2 inch long, and he didn't know it. But he had produced a golf swing that was much more rounded because the clubs were so long than they should have been. When we got a more properly length and properly fit golf club in his hand, and they were substantially weaker than his athleticism, we put a shorter, stiffer shaft in his golf club in his hands. He ended up picking up 15 yards right off the bat, and it changed his motion. That was a lot of fun.
It's hard for anybody, even accomplished golfers, to understand what it is that makes them hit what they're hitting. There are just so many variables. Like you say, there's 40,000 combinations of heads and shafts and lengths and grips and everything. Really, it's almost frightening for anybody who's not a well-trained master club fitter to even begin to think about that stuff.
If you take a deep dive, certainly. But that's the great part about going to someplace like Club Champion is that you can come here and ask us questions. Yeah. I love to answer questions. Right. I love to take a deep dive. I had another gentleman in here the other day who I think had read every short game golf book that there was. And he hit me on every point of our putter fitting. Why is this the proper length? Why do I need this offset of a head rather than that offset of a head?
Sure.
And it was honestly, it was an hour that went by. It felt like 10 minutes. So, it's good to come in and ask those questions.
But the bottom line is he knows enough of that stuff to know that you know enough of that stuff that he's got what he wants. For folks like me, I don't care.
There you go.
I trust you, man. And I saw how it worked. I don't care why I want this shaft. Just, I know I need it because you tell me I do.
Exactly.
And it works. Like I said, there are 13 other clubs in the bag now that don't quite measure up anymore.
That's okay. We got all the time in the world.
Shameless self-promotion, man. Is there a one central location to go to? Because we've got listeners all over the country, actually all over the world, but in America, any place central to go to get information, to make an appointment, find out?
ClubChampionGolf.com is our website, and you can access any of the locations there. There's also numbers where you would call into our company. Our headquarters are in a suburb of Chicago called Willowbrook. And we handle everything out of there. That's where we do all of our bills. The manufacturers send all of our stuff to that location, and it's built by golfers.
Yeah.
That's the other part, is when we build a product, our tolerances are actually as tight and tighter than most of the major equipment manufacturers, and they're checked and double checked. And when you get that product in your hand, it's truly what you were hitting in the bay when you were here for your fit.
And
it's going to work for you out there.
And it's because of the numbers that you go by the numbers, man.
We make sure that they prove it before you chuck down your money.
Yeah. And it worked.
I know it does.
That's all I got to say. All right, Kevin Hurst. I appreciate you working with me, man. And I appreciate you guys hooking me up with the driver. Now, like I said, there are 13 other clubs are going to have to come back and talk about
later. That's okay, John.
Day.
We've got both bays ready to go anytime you're ready.
You got it. All right. Thanks a lot. Hang out. We got a little bit more. We'll come right back. We're all those weekend golf guys. Of course, we have a Facebook page, facebook.com/golf guys. We would love it if you were to go there and like us. Facebook.com/golf guys. Chronic pain is the worst. it's worse than just discomfort because it affects your entire life. You can't get comfortable. You probably have some trouble sleeping, or you don't want to exercise, or you don't want to walk around. It's been ongoing for a few weeks and it hasn't improved with any of the stuff you've tried. What are you going to do? You just don't sit on the couch and give up. You try a thing called Omax Health Cryo Freeze CBD Roll-On. It's great. It's non-prescription. Triple action pain relief roll-on specifically formulated to block all pain receptors, to reduce inflammation, and to improve muscle and joint flexibility. And the best part is it's 100% natural. CBD-powered remedy works its magic within 10 minutes, and the relief can last up to 8 hours. Take it from me. I know my knees stink. They're bad. I play golf, and by about the 11th or 12th hole, it's hurting to walk. Put a little of that on. By 18, I'm fine, man. I am fine, and I don't come home all achy and painy as I used to. You got to try it. I can help you try it. Omax Health is offering all of our listeners 20% off a full bottle of CryoFreeze CBD Pain Relief Roll-On. Plus, they'll ship it to you for free. And this discount also applies toward any other product site-wide, and they've got a lot of great stuff. Check them out. OmaxHealth.com. Go there today and enter the code WEEKEND. That's OMAXHealth.com, and enter the code WEEKEND, and you will get 20% off CryoFreeze and anything else site-wide. Kyle Stanley uses it when he plays golf and for other stuff, too. And look at 95% of the 5-star reviews. They've got page after page after page of customers saying, this stuff works. So you don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe them. Get a bottle and try it for yourself. You can believe yourself, okay? OMAXHealth.com. Enter the code WEEKEND. Get 20% off or anything site-wide. OMAXHealth.com. Go there now. Enter the code WEEKEND. You'll thank me for it later.
Stunning.
You don't have to hit a shot to fall in love with the Pete Dye and Donald Ross courses at French Lick Resort. Our hotel and golf packages are the way to go. Add the casino and spas, and it's a road trip for the memory book. Safely get back to the game you love with one of the packages found online at FrenchLick.com. Legendary golf at French Lick Resort. A breath of fresh air.
Must be 21 to enter casino. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Now there's a martini that improves your driving. The new Martini Golf Tee actually gives you longer, straighter drives compared to old-fashioned wood tees. It's virtually unbreakable, made in the USA, and conforms with USGA rules. Get yours today at martinigolftees.com. So improve your driving with a martini. The Martini Golf Tee. Visit martinigolftees.com.
They say a word to the wise is sufficient, so I have a word. Sign up. Okay, is that 2 words or just one hyphenated? I'm not sure. But you need to go to facebook.com/golfguys because Jeff Smith, the #1 golf instructor in the state of Indiana, is going to be doing live Facebook webinars that are going to help you reduce strokes. Will it cost you anything? No. Facebook.com/golfguys. Go there, follow us, like us, and be ready to know whenever Jeff Smith goes live. Your golf game will only improve. And there's us back again, those Weekend Golf Guys. I'm John Ashton. He is Jeff Smith. We'll have more with Kevin from Club Champion in another segment when we come up. He's taking a little rest. If you hear any hitting in the background, it's the balls hitting the mat in the back, but we try to keep that down to a bare minimum. But man, I didn't know, and Kevin's going to explain it in greater detail too in a little bit, but I didn't realize that those numbers that they get from TrackMan don't just tell you what kind of a head and what kind of a loft you need. I mean, they matched the shaft. They even picked the grip that was the right size for my hands.
Yep.
And they do something, I forget what the technique is called, but they do something with the shaft to make it optimum for that particular head.
Yep.
And then when they put it together at their, I don't want to call it a factory, it's more like a workshop, everything is just matched accurately, and they go 100% by the numbers.
Because they're agnostic as far as brand. They're not trying to sell you any particular shaft. They're not trying to sell you any particular brand of head.
Nope.
Everybody that I have sent off to be club fit from a couple of the professionals that I work with to the high level amateurs, to the college players, to the serious high school players. I always send them to a fitter that has no ulterior motive except to put the right club, the best club possible in this golfer's hands.
Right.
And they match if they're doing a full bag fit, they always come back and they match and they get all the gaps that player's going to have.
Mm-hmm.
They hit them all.
Mm-hmm.
So that way they don't have some big gigantic hole in their bag where they can't play from a certain distance because they don't have a club for that. Because as we know, lots of amateurs have that problem.
Yeah.
They got 3 clubs that go the same distance. And they seem to be the 6-iron, the 5-iron, and the 4-iron all seem to go about the same distance.
Now, when I feel that because when my second shot was 41 yards to the center of the green after that humongous drive, which we're going to get to in a minute, I was like, I don't have a club that only goes 41 yards. I'm going to have to take one of these and
pick
just
it up and throw it.
kind of fudge it. I'm not quite sure what to do now. I've never been in this situation before.
What is it? I can see the green. Wow.
Yeah,
How about that?
I know, man. But now we have kidded around, and I have mentioned on many an occasion, tongue in cheek, which is hard for you to understand when I talk like that. So I'll take my tongue out of my cheek. But I have said that technology can overcome ability, or lack thereof. And I know that this new driver I got, the new Callaway Maverick, professionally fitted, with the, what did he tell me? It's the Fujikura red something shaft that was just optimized exactly for what my numbers told him I needed.
Wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute. I have to stop you.
Okay.
Every true golfer knows what club is in their hands, in their bag. They know all the specs. They know all about it. You got handed a club. You hit it as best you've ever hit anything in your whole life, and you can't even describe the golf club? Are you kidding me?
It's pretty.
Oh my God.
It's about yay long. Head's about this big.
I don't know. It's a golf club. I mean, the thing's got a shaft in it.
Well, he told
what are
me
we talking about.
He told me what it was, and I could read it. I just can't remember it at the moment, and it's out in my car. So, but the question is, how much of that drive was the club, knowing that I've never hit a drive that far before, and how much of it was being able to make center face contact finally on a regular basis after working with you?
Oh, it's 99% after working with me, and 1% the new golf club.
Okay,
yes,
that's all we needed. Okay.
I got to give credence to the club. I mean, the thing cost you like $600-700.
Yeah, it's got a little bit to do with it, John.
Yeah, but the truth is that I will tell you, that you did do it well by getting the club face speeding up. Right, we've done that.
Mm-hmm.
You did well with the angle of attack. We've done that.
Mm-hmm.
We've got it to the center of the face. We've done that.
Mm-hmm.
But you are swinging a better club,
mm-hmm.
and you are hitting a better ball.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's just say it's all of it. Oh, yeah. And then there's the athlete involved. I know.
He didn't show up.
You're laughing with the rest of our audience right now when I use the word athlete. Okay. Yeah. So there are all factors combined. Mm-hmm. So it was like the perfect storm.
Yeah, exactly. It's just everything just aligned perfectly. And
stars, moons, all those things.
God was in his heaven and all was right with the world. Man, it just looks so pretty. And it's like,
well, you've done well. You ought to be pretty pleased, really.
I am.
Because you didn't have the capacity to do that before.
No.
Your swing used to be swiping across the ball a bit, right? The club face and path were always divergent,
and not always
known
the
as
same
not in
way.
The same place.
Yeah, and not always. Hey, Don't be condescending. Now that means he talks down to people.
I would never do that. Not to you. Oh no, sir.
Yeah, but even the divergence was not the same every time.
No, and that's the thing. And now that you have become a significantly better repeater of something good, right? Now all of a sudden you're beginning to see what the rest of us see in terms of center face contact and the distances and the accuracy, and then it puts you in such a better place on the golf course.
Yeah.
You actually have even, as I say this, you've actually embraced the P word.
Yeah.
Not only can you say the P word, but you're actually doing some of it. You're repeating emotion.
Now and again. Yeah.
Yes. Now and again, you do that because, and you're also seeing the response that you get from your golf ball.
Right.
And you're looking at that going, I want to do that again.
Yeah.
And I want to do it again and then again. And it somewhat gets addicting, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And you go, I'm coming back. I'm definitely coming back. And I'm definitely bringing a sleeve of the same balls. And despite what the guys say, I'm not moving back a set of tees. Yet.
You're learning to play the way you should play and have shorter clubs into your hand.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden golf gets easier and more fun. You're like, wow, I'm hitting a club with loft on it here into a green.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. So I will reiterate what Kevin Hurst from Club Champion either has said or is going to say, because he said it multiple times in our conversation. Yeah, get fitted. That's great. But also take some lessons. Go to your local PGA pro that you can relate to and take some lessons. Because despite what we say, the technology is not going to overcome your ability each and every time. It's going to.
It really can't. It can't
help.
make you swing it in a certain direction at the ball. Can't make you swing it at a certain angle of attack to the ball. It can't make you hit it in the center of the face. There is no technology that can make those things happen.
Right. But when you learn how to do all that, it can make the ball sail.
Yes.
And now I'm sitting there going, I've got 13 other clubs in my bag. I wonder how much better those could be.
Those things are shaking in their boots right now, aren't they? They're sitting there going, no, we're doing fine. Come on, John. Come on, John. We're old friends.
Yeah. If anybody wants to buy some old friends, give me a holler. We'll be right back. We'll get more conversation with Kevin Hurst, Master Club Fitter. You're going to learn exactly how this whole thing works. Stick with us. We'll be right back. Most of this week's show was recorded on location. Yeah, we were at the Club Champion office here in Louisville, Kentucky. That's where I got my driver fit for me, and that's where we interviewed Kevin, the master fitter. We did it without the help of a producer. It was just me. And as a producer, I'm a great announcer. Okay, so we've had some trials and tribulations. We've had some personnel situations. You know how it goes. I mean, we had this whole COVID-19 thing going on. People not knowing where to be, not knowing how to be in public, not wanting to be in public. I'm sure you've had the same thing with your business. I mean, sure, the sports leagues all shut down, but did your business shut down? Not a chance. But you may find yourself without people. And now that you're coming back into the world, you may find it difficult to replace some of the people who left. That is where Indeed.com comes in, because they are here to help you. Indeed.com is the #1 job site in the world because Indeed gets you the best people and they get you them fast. And like other sites, Indeed gives you full control and payment flexibility over your hiring. So you only pay for what you need. You can pause your account at any time, and there are no long-term contracts. Plus, Indeed provides powerful tools to make your search that much easier, like sponsored jobs, which are shown to be 3.5 times more likely to result in a hire. With 73% of online job seekers visiting Indeed each month, Indeed is going to get you the important hire that you need, just like they have for over 3 million businesses. And right now, Indeed is offering our listeners a free $75 credit to boost your job post, which means more quality candidates will see it fast. Try Indeed out with a free $75 credit at Indeed.com/weekend. Now, this is their best offer available anywhere. Go right now to Indeed.com/weekend. Terms and conditions apply. Offer valid through September 30th. It's Indeed.com/weekend. If we had gone there, our segment would have not been too short. You know, anyone who has dealt with erectile dysfunction knows how awkward it can be to talk about it in person. Luckily, there is a simple, convenient solution to get the treatment you need without leaving your couch. Our friends over at Roman have spent years building a digital platform that can connect you with a doctor licensed in your state, all from the comfort of your home. Roman makes it convenient to get the treatment you need right from home. Just grab your phone or your computer, complete a free online visit, and you'll hear back from a U.S. licensed physician within 24 hours. And if the doctor decides the treatment's right for you, your medication can be shipped right to your door with free 2-day shipping. You also get free unlimited follow-ups with your doctor anytime you have questions or want to adjust your treatment plan. With Roman, there are no commitments, and you can cancel at any time. So if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction, stay home. Go to GetRoman.com/weekend for a free online visit and free 2-day shipping. That's GetRoman.com/weekend for a free online visit and free 2-day shipping. And it is us, those Weekend Golf Guys. Actually, it is me, that Weekend Golf Guy, all by myself. John Ashton here in the studio in Louisville, Kentucky for Club Champion. One of Kevin Hurst, who is here, the master fitter.
75 locations, coast to coast now for Club Champion.
This is even better than going to Brooks Brothers and getting a suit done, or going to Armani and getting a suit done. This is like going to a tailor and you pick out the cloth you want, the exact specifications you want, and you get something built for you absolutely custom.
Absolutely. The way that we look at things, we have all major manufacturers and some you've never even heard of, club heads available. Mm-hmm. We also have every major manufacturer of shaft available.
Right.
So we can actually produce combinations of sets that even the original equipment manufacturers haven't really thought of yet.
Mm-hmm.
So from a comparison, I use the analogy a lot. We're the hot rod shop for golf clubs. You buy your stock version of a car anywhere, and we're going to put the tricked out tires, and we're going to make sure that it fits you like a glove, and that it makes you enjoy your game that much more.
Yeah, I mean, you could even do like if I wanted to Dodge motor in my Mustang, in the Chevy chassis.
Absolutely,
you can put it together that way.
Trick it out however you need to do.
I had never in my life even been fitted for anything. Now this is different. I have gone to a few of those on-course fittings, like, Titleist, Come On Down, Ping. In fact, you used to do some of those for Ping, didn't you?
I did. I was a product manager for Ping Golf Clubs back in the early 2000s. And
mm-hmm.
I have done my fair share of demo days. Our experience is pretty far apart from that, because mm-hmm. what we're really trying to do is we're trying to recognize the needs of the golfer and be able to match that up with the proper product. So it sometimes gets to be a little bit of a hairy situation, but we have a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. When you go to a demo day, you're bound by that manufacturer.
Sure.
You're bound by the combinations that, in all their good faith, they've come up with that they think are the best for the broader public. What Club Champion does is we bring that down to you. Everybody wants to talk to us about standards. What's the standard loft? What's the standard lie angle for different clubs? Our standard is yours. We try and figure out what you need, and we build to those specifications, not what a manufacturer thinks might be right for somebody like you.
Yeah, because like when you go to the Ping demo days, or it's a tailor-made whatever, it's the best club that they make for you.
Absolutely.
And you guys, like you say, you're agnostic about brand. You have no favorites, but also there's no emotion in it. It's pure numbers, isn't it?
I'd like to hope there's a little emotion in it, but yes, that's why we utilize the state of the art launch monitors and things like that with TrackMan. The TrackMan technology, I used the term the other day. That's our bona fides. That's what we use to prove to you what's right.
Yeah.
Or if it's not working, then it's not working.
Right.
We go through that, and we don't have a problem in saying, hey, what's in your bag might be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
If we can't improve on it, we're not going to push it.
First off, I had never got fit before. I brought my old driver in, the one I was using,
mm-hmm.
and you got all the numbers off of that.
Mm-hmm.
You knew the swing speed, you knew the spin rate, speed of the ball, flight, the whole 9 yards. And from using those numbers, you started thinking what would fit for me.
Our process is to do just that. We want you to come in with your golf club. We establish a baseline first and foremost. we review the numbers. We let you know kind of what we're looking for as fitters, what areas we want to be able to improve upon and what that's going to do for you out on the golf course.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I like to say that we do better than anybody else is we don't necessarily tell you what you need. We tell you why you need it in addition.
Mm-hmm.
So when you walk out of here, you're not only a better golfer, but you're a better informed consumer when you go to it as well.
And when you come to a club champion to get fit, make sure that you got plenty of energy because it's a workout.
We do hit a few balls, and in your case, we were hitting drivers, and it's not uncommon to hit 40 or 50 drivers.
Mm-hmm.
Most people in even a range session don't hit that many drivers,
Yeah.
but when you are breaking down the clubs, you want to be able to establish the shaft. That might be 4 or 5 different shafts at 4 or 5 shots apiece. Then we move on and we identify which club head works with the shaft that we worked with. And that might be, an additional 5 or 6 heads depending on the different models that we look at. So, there's quite a few swings to be put together there. But again, we want to make sure that we're doing our due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make sure when you walk out of here that that the driver that you've been fit for is the best possible golf club for you.
Definitely. You don't just say, okay, well, this is what you want. I mean, and we tried, about 5 different heads.
Yeah.
Multiple different shafts.
Yeah. It was, and we do that with everybody. We want to, because there's so much nuance involved with it. What's going to be the proper, obviously, flex? What's going to be the proper weight? What's going to be the proper tip flex or bud flex, those kinds of things. All of those factor into what you're looking for and what your goals are. What we try to provide is we want to provide the most consistent and longest golf club that you've ever had.
And the good news is I don't have to know what any of that means.
No.
All I have to do is see the pretty picture
Absolutely.
on the monitor and go, yeah, I want it to look like that every time.
Exactly. And that's the other wonderful part about it is in using TrackMan technology, we are able to, at the end of the session, we do send all of the data to the customer. So they've got it there as well as all of the specs that we recommend to get you going. And that's all part of the process that Club Champions brought to the consumer. What we do here is the closest thing that you can get to a tour type experience of fitting a golf club, where it's quite simply, it comes down to trial and error, but we have a lot of insight into cutting that down to where you don't have to hit everything in the shop, which is a good thing because we have over 40,000 combinations of golf club to work with.
I was going to say, I learned permutations and combinations in college math, and I couldn't begin to compute what I'm glad someone else has done it.
We just, hopefully the supercomputer they're using at Callaway can help break some of that down.
Speaking of which, that's what I wound up with. Callaway Maverick with Fujikura shaft.
The Ventus Red, yes.
Okay.
And what we were looking for there in your particular case, John, we wanted to try and find something that we could increase the carry distance and we could get you deeper downrange while not giving up a ton of roll as well. For me, carry distance is king.
Yeah.
Here in Louisville, Kentucky, we're in an odd part of the country in that our turf changes nearly daily.
Yeah.
So we'll play everything from baked out hard pan to sandy zoysia fairways in this area. And I learned a long time ago that a ball flies farther than it rolls.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we get you as far in the air downrange as possible.
Yeah.
And that particular shaft, that Fujikura Ventus Red, is made with a very stable but a little bit softer tip to help get a little bit more airborne. The Maverick head that we went with provided us with a 10-5 loft to be able to get the ball up in the air and maintain our carry distance as long as possible. And then by having a fairly tight shaft like that Ventus Red, we were able to get some roll out of it as well. So, that's the balance and the combination that we're always looking for when we're doing a driver fit.
How long does it take you to learn all that stuff?
It's a long time. I mean, I've been lucky enough to been working with launch monitors since the early 2000s. Okay. So I've seen a lot of shots hit both indoors and outdoors. But truly, the way that we do it at Club Champion with the indoor setting, it takes away so many more of the variables that it makes it much easier for us to come to a conclusion for you that will really show itself well outside.
Yeah.
Where we don't have to worry about the wind. We don't have to worry about being too hot or anybody being uncomfortable. It's a wonderful thing. It's 67 and sunny in here every day. So
every day, man. It's like living in San Diego.
It's not, there's nothing wrong. I enjoy that part of it.
It's a beautiful thing, man. I'm not going to say that it's the club, but I am going to tell you a little story. Now, I'm not going to tell you exactly how old I am, but I can get the senior discount at McDonald's. Okay?
Okay.
I was and I play usually from 5,800 to 6,200 yard tees.
Okay.
Okay. Some people call those the senior tees. Other people don't.
We just call them forward.
Forward. That's right. Not quite all the way forward,
Exactly.
but forward enough. That's a 311 yard par 4. It was about, it was the 16th hole, but it was about the 25th time I had used the driver on the course. And it does take some getting used to when you get a new club.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got some idiosyncrasies from your other clubs that you need to get rid of.
Right.
Get in and actually groove the swing down and everything. But it was about the 16th hole. And 311 yards. And my second shot, I had a problem because I don't have a club that can only go 41 yards.
Well, if you're Phil Mickelson like last week, you could use a putter.
You could. Except there was sand to get over.
Okay.
I wasn't quite
right.
that bad.
That makes sense.
But 270-yard drive is something that I didn't do when I was 30.
Well, you know, that's matching up the right product with the right individual and being able to give you the tool to do that. I didn't get to make that swing for you.
No.
And it probably would have hurt me to try and make that. But, you know,
You've seen my swing,
it's okay. It's okay. But when you get that, you know, when you get the proper product in your hand, when you get something that can help you, you know, achieve your goals, that there's nothing better for me to hear as a fitter.
And the people I was playing with were like, huh?
Yeah.
We
also like it if you collect a bet or two every once in a while.
I'm going to start doing that now.
There we go.
Because there are a few people who'll still take totally by surprise.
And that was just the driver fitting. Imagine if we could get you in here and work with our sand putt lab in the putting. We can really start to loosen up those guys' wallets.
You know, it may be profitable.
It's a distinct possibility. You know, and one other thing that went into that driver fit that Club Champion offers that not a lot of other guys do is a thing called SST Puring. Where we actually take the shaft that you were hitting and we analyze that shaft and find the area where it's going to produce the least amount of deflection and oscillation. And it's installed in the club head in that manner so you have the absolute most consistent golf club you could possibly have.
Well, if I can do this with the driver fitting, why don't I come back? Because I've got 13 other clubs in my bag.
Exactly. And that's the other part that we love. You know, the driver fitting. We really didn't get into it in your session, but that also feeds the fairway wood conversation to make sure that we've got the proper fairway wood. And again, to fit what you want to do with a fairway wood. If you like to play with it off the tee, there are certain combinations of fairway wood that we can make a recommendation for. If you're more, you know, looking for that second shot for some people into a par 5, those kinds of things. Utilizing a 5 wood and a 7 wood, those are also conversations that we can have. It also feeds hybrids, you know, where we start talking about marrying both sides of the bag, the irons and the woods, and sometimes hybrids are a wonderful fit in between them.
Yeah.
We can do it all.
It depends on, I guess, how serious you want to get about your game.
It is, you know, and that's the thing is that a lot of people, and the thing that I hear a lot is that, well, I'm not consistent enough. It's like, well, you don't have to be consistent enough. Great thing about Club Champion is in the training and the experience that our fitters have is kind of recognizing when you make a good swing and how to utilize our tools to be able to get you a set of golf clubs that are going to make that more possible for you.
Yeah.
That's the other great benefit of coming to Club Champion versus maybe just going out to a retailer and buying something off the wall.
A lot of us go and buy clubs because they look good.
I've got some pretty golf clubs on this wall. all of them have functionality, and when they're paired with the right shaft and that combination is put into the player's hands, it produces a wonderful thing, and people have more fun. That's our ultimate goal.
When we come right back, which we will do in a few moments, I want to ask you a question about how important is the ball. We're with Kevin Hurst. He's master fitter here, club champion. We are those Weekend Golf Guys. Hang out. We'll be right back. Right now in the year 2020, hiring is more important than ever. And Indeed is here to help make sure you get the best people available. Indeed.com is the #1 job site in the world because Indeed gets you the best people fast. And unlike other sites, Indeed gives you full control and payment flexibility over your hiring. You only pay for what you need. You can pause your account at any time, and there are no long-term contracts. Plus, Indeed provides powerful tools to make your search that much easier, like sponsored jobs, which are shown to be 3.5 times more likely to result in a hire. Now, with 73% of online job seekers visiting Indeed each month, Indeed's going to get you that important hire that you need, just like they have for over 3 million businesses. And right now, Indeed's offering our listeners a free $75 credit to boost your job post, which means more quality candidates will see it fast. So try Indeed out with free $75 credit at Indeed.com/weekend. This is their best offer available anywhere. Go right now to Indeed.com/weekend. Terms and conditions apply. Offer valid through September 30th. Man, these guys, oh, by the way, it's those Weekend Golf Guys, a few moments left to get together this morning. Thank you for hanging out with us. Those guys, man, they know more than anybody. I mean, just golf geeks.
Kind of fun, isn't it?
They got to be golf
to learn
geeks,
that.
man.
I love hanging out with guys that do a technical thing that helps people play golf better.
Mm-hmm.
I love hearing what they're doing because then I know how I can do what I do and then suggest something that I know will help, and I know where to send people. People ask me, do I do a lot of club fitting? I'm like, no, I don't anymore. I used to, but the truth is that at the 2 facilities that I teach golf, they don't have club fitting rooms. They don't have a lot of shafts, a lot of different heads. They're at the club. And because they found out that, the specialists are out there, and it's an expensive proposition for the local clubs to have that. And then at the same time, the people that are actually really highly skilled and trained aren't the regular club professionals anymore.
I mean, Kevin, as you mentioned, he started out as a customer service rep for Ping. Okay.
Yeah.
And just worked his way up and learned everything he possibly could about how golf clubs are designed, how golf clubs are made. He is a PGA professional. He's taught people. He's been at Mayfield Country Club down in Bardstown, Kentucky, in the shadow of the Jim Beam Distillery, if you ever get around there, But, man, these guys are phenomenal pros, and they've got multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of inventory in each and every location, and they got 75 locations. No golf club in the world could afford to stock everything that they stock.
Not a chance.
They are totally agnostic. They give you what the numbers say you need. They're not paid extra to rep any particular company. And they try all of them. I mean, I would have loved if the new Titleist driver had worked for me because it was cool looking.
It is cool looking, isn't it? I like it.
But it was not the best, according to the numbers, for me.
Right. And it is for somebody.
Yeah, definitely. And if it is for you, that's what they will hook you up with. And if the Ping is yours, that's what you'll get. If the Callaway fits, that's it. They even have some name brands you never heard of.
Try me.
I'm not talking you. I'm talking you. ThoseWeekendGolfGuys.com. We've got some pictures there of a few videos of the whole fitting process so you can see, fat little John do his thing. Also, Those Weekend Golf Guys can be followed on Facebook at Facebook.com/golfguys, and we would appreciate it if you did that for us. And check us out every week. If you've got any shows you missed, you can always go back in the archives and check them out too through ThoseWeekendGolfGuys.com. So get fit if you can. If not, just get a lesson and learn how to hit the clubs you got. Either way, go play some golf. 2 years ago this weekend, Jeff had just come back from Scotland, and he wanted to rub it in our face a little bit about all the cool places he had played golf. A little bonus content from 2 years ago from Those Weekend Golf Guys. It's us. We're back. Those Weekend Golf Guys. John Ashton here. Jeff Smith there. There happens to be not in Scotland anymore, where he was for the past 10 days. And those of you who did listen to last week's The Best That We Could Find episode, we like to do the best of, but we have to settle for the best we can find. We appreciate it because it was kind of an arrogantly titled, you listen while we're playing golf. I think some people listened because I thought it was going to be like a a live play-by-play, but it wasn't. It was just, you're here, we're not, ha kind of thing. And we apologize for that, but we are back now and do appreciate you being here. Those weekendgolfguys.com. Catch up on anything you may have missed. Facebook.com/golfguys. You can go there and like us. We appreciate that. Post some good stuff. We've got a little private group that we're going to invite you all to, too, as soon as we figure out how to do that. You mentioned something about when you were just messing around on the practice green at the old course one time, and you were using some brand new Titleist Pro V1s, brand new, right out the box.
Brand new.
And you were talking about how well they checked up because they were brand new. And this led me to a question, is how old is old for a golf ball? Because many of us amateurs, I mean, one of the proudest moments of our lives is when we finish walk-off number 18 with the same ball we started with on number 1.
Oh, yeah.
Do you need to change?
Great day.
Yeah, do you need to change balls more often than that, or, weekly or monthly, or what?
No.
At what point do they
John,
start to not react as well as they do when they're brand new?
Let me tell you, you're going to lose a golf ball before you wear it out.
Okay. What are you trying to say, bud? Come on.
Well, the reality of it is that these golf balls are not made poorly. They're gonna hold up for a while. Case in point, I use a bunch of Pro V practice balls in my studio. They're hit time after time after time, week after week, month after month, and by a couple months down, where people are just pounding on these golf balls, certainly they lose the cover first, right? They lose that little shine on the cover, and it starts to wear off from friction and a number of strikes. But yet, I get that because they're getting hit into a screen that also provides some friction upon impact, because they're spinning a lot and they hit this screen and it wears them down, but it takes a lot of strikes. And you're going to lose a golf ball before it gets hit that many times.
Okay.
It just is. I don't think you should worry too much about that, because none of these manufacturers that are putting out good quality product they're going to wear down very much.
Okay.
But let's just say that you go in and you're in there helping a friend off piste, so to speak, off the fairway, and you happen to find somebody else's golf ball that they have abandoned or they just couldn't find, and you decide, hey, I might as well play that ball. And yet it looks a little worn.
Yes.
The shine is gone, whatnot, and you decide, hey, I'll put this in the rotation. Feel free. Just because the shine is gone doesn't mean it will truly not perform. But what you'll find out is when the covers get worn down and you begin to see the dimples being worn down, that's you're going to see some performance difference.
Okay.
Brand new ones they're pretty sweet, fresh out of the sleeve. They've got that, I don't want to say sticky, but they've got this coating on them that if you rub the two together, they actually squeak a little bit.
Yeah. I've noticed.
It's boy, you want to talk about a ball that spins real fast, real well. You get yourself one of those softer, high spin balls that are the top of the line golf balls, and they're brand new right out of the box. And you start to pitch those around with your sand wedge or your lob wedge, you'll see some checkup on those things real fast.
Yeah. I've also noticed some difference in the sound on the putting green between the same brand of balls but different ages. Is that just hitting it differently, or is that a telltale sign that something may be amiss?
Brand and type are different. I could have a hardcover Titleist golf ball and a soft cover Titleist ball, and they will sound differently, and they could both be brand new.
Yeah, but the same thing, like you have two Pro V1s, one brand new or one newer than the other, and they sound different. Is that a sign?
Yeah, they do. The dimple patterns are a little different, and the older one, it doesn't have that, the cover's worn a little bit on it, and it'll sound a little different.
Okay, but nothing to worry about, right?
Nah.
No reason to take it out of the rotation and throw it in your grandson's golf bag.
Only if you want to get some new ones.
Yeah, yeah. And if you have a readily available supply of new ones, hint, hint.
Yeah.
Just make a phone call. You know what I'm saying? That's how that works.
That's right.
Were the balls of concern too in with the conditions in Scotland? Did you play a harder ball?
No.
Okay.
No, definitely not. I wanted the softest one. People would go, "Oh, wait, you don't want it spinning around a lot in the wind." You're right, you don't, but it still has to hold.
Yeah.
And the conditions in Scotland were dry. as links golf usually goes. They're a bit wind blown, and they have had a little bit of rain, but not a lot.
Right.
Certainly, as you watch the Open over there, there's not a lot of soft ground over there.
Yeah.
So no matter what you hit, it's going to roll out, and hence that's what you need to spin for on the greens, because otherwise it's just going to roll out. So the reality of that was we had to play the spin balls.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because we needed them to stop on the greens, and that's the big deal. So they're all going to be, blown around by the wind, and they're all going to land on hard surfaces. So the only thing you can play there is a spin ball, because otherwise it'll just never stop. So we played some fantastic golf courses. Certainly we've talked about the old course, and walking up that 18th hole is just a magical feeling, as well as walking down the number one and playing the 17th and on and on and on. But there were other golf courses there that were just absolutely mind-blowing experiences. We played up the coast or down the coast a little bit at a place called the Fairmont Hotel. They have two courses there, and they're right on the cliffs. And one of them is designed by Sam Torrance, and the other one I don't know who designed it. But we played the other one. I don't know who designed it. But it was called the Kittox course, and it was absolutely one of the best golf courses I had seen and played. Cool. It was fabulous. It was cliffside, seaside. We were looking down the coast at the town of St. Andrews. What a great experience that was. Then we shot up the coast a little bit toward Aberdeen, and we played what can be known here as probably one of the most scenic municipal golf courses that you'll ever find. So think of wherever you are in the country listening to us, and think of your local muni in terms of its normal, decent condition, without anything fancy about it. There wasn't any high rough, and there wasn't anything, all perfectly manicured and all that stuff. But we played that golf course, and the time we walked off there, we thought, this is fabulous. And most people would go, what do you mean? What are you talking about? The views of this golf course were unbelievable. We were playing, almost every hole was on the cliffs, back and forth, up and down. Walking this golf course was exceptionally difficult. We were winded and had to stop on many of the holes. But where you get to look when you stop is fabulous. Up sheer cliffs straight down below you. It was beautiful. Every bit of it was beautiful. I could not have thought to put a golf course on a more beautiful piece of property at all. And they found it. And they put a golf course on it. And it's just fabulous. And then we shot up the coast a little bit more, up to a place called the Mercar Golf Links. And that's right touching the property to the Royal Aberdeen Golf Course, which we did not play.
Yeah.
And then we shot up the coast even more, up to the Moray first, and we played this club called the Moray, and we played the Moray Golf Club. And it's a lot like the St. Andrews Golf Links, where you're in town, and they got these beautiful old buildings, and it's right next to the North Sea. I mean, literally, there's like 50 yards between the clubhouse and the ocean.
Right.
And so you go out, and then you come back in, and you come back into town, and the 18th green's there, and the buildings are all around, and it's very reminiscent. And but this one had a little wrinkle to it. This one also had a Royal Air Force base immediately next to it, and I do mean immediately. I'm not suggesting that there's any space between the airport runways and the golf course. So needless to say, we were treated to about 20 planes buzzing over our heads on the first, say, 7 holes.
So you have to deal with both the wind and the jet backwash. Huh?
That's right. That was a very interesting and loud, I have to tell you. It was very loud.
Yeah.
Up until 6 p.m. where they shut it down. And then all of a sudden it got very quiet and beautiful.
How late did the sun set?
But it was it didn't sunset until 10:30.
Okay.
Yeah, up there, up that far north, I think it was 10:30 sunset.
Yeah.
Where you could see, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And we stayed right there at a hotel overlooking the 18th hole and had dinner there, and it was just it was a treat.
Yeah, people don't understand how far north Great Britain is, the UK or whatever you want to call it, because we were sitting on the beach in Maine, and somebody said, I could see England without the fog. I said, no, you'd be looking at probably the southern coast of Portugal. That's where you're looking at if you're going straight across from Maine, because Northern Europe is much more northern than is northern, because, we keep forgetting. We think we're all it in North America. There's a whole other country north of us. It's called Canada. Perhaps you've heard of it.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's a big one.
It is kind of big, and it's been there for a while.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got some more talking
tall,
to do.
too.
Yeah, it does get cold. We will be right back. We are those weekend golf guys. Hang with us. Of course, we have a Facebook page, facebook.com/golf guys. We would love it if you were to go there and like us. We'd love it even more if you'd go there and follow us.